Mikhail in Sacramento, California writes, "Hey Paul, I wonder why you put those beautiful planar magnetic drivers in the Aspen series loudspeakers inside of a box. Have you considered open baffle mid-range and tweeter? Is it because of better coherency with woofers, lower crossover point, or for some other reason?" Okay, well, first off, let me tell you that I have finally, well, we'll see, but I think I finally wangled our speaker designer, Chris Brunhaver, and to start doing a daily video too. So knock on speakers. We'll see if we can't get Chris going. Once Chris gets going, he's a powerhouse. But getting him moving, come on, get going. Look, this takes time. This takes effort to sit and make a video for y'all. But I know people enjoy it. I enjoy watching them. So anyway, yeah, of course. Look, open baffle speakers, I've lived with those for 100 years, right? Think about the speakers I have owned. Magnaplaners, open baffle. The Infinity IRS 5s, open baffle. On and on. So yeah, I very much like open baffle speakers, but with the exception of the Magnaplaners, and even then I augmented them with sealed box subwoofers. With those exceptions, I always had the woofers in a box. Now, Chris and I have daydreamed a lot, and more Chris than anything, because I love hearing his ideas. We've talked about fooling around with some open box stuff. There's some ways to do the woofers. Just so you know, what we're talking about is these drivers, these beautiful planar mid-range tweeters. If you put them just on a flat plane, then they become a dipole. So which we like. Dipoles have great advantages. But if you do the same for the woofer, you have a problem because phase cancellation. The front of the woofer is out of phase with the rear. Now in a mid-range or a tweeter, not such a big deal. That can be dealt with. But the woofer is problematic. All open baffle speakers have problems with bass. So Linkwitz, brilliant guy, he solved it in one way. Bob Carver did something, he solved it another way. And none of them are perfect solutions, but there are some pretty good solutions and some pretty good reasons to do it. We didn't do it for a number of reasons. Mostly, we wanted to build a loudspeaker that you could easily put into a home without having to worry too much about placement. So the one thing about dipoles and open baffles is they're really placement sensitive. You really, really you can't put them up against a wall, period. You just can't. These, we like you to have them away from the wall, but you don't have to. And we don't have the problem with the woofers. Look, I don't think there's any way that an open baffle woofer, even if we tackle one and do it, is ever going to get down to 24 hertz like these do. You really need a sealed box. So there have been a number of open baffle speakers that had closed box woofers, and then the top part was the open baffle. There's all kinds of different ways, but this is the least compromised way to build it so that this box, because it's the easiest way to build a speaker and have it come out right and have it work in just about any room with minimal amount of setup. And that's what the Aspens have. So if you get a pair of Aspens, they're going to pop into your room and they're going to work. An open baffle speaker, you're going to have some setup issues, but not saying you can't and not saying we won't. So hopefully that is enough of an answer to let you know. But we're always poking around. And again, I love open baffle speakers. Most of my life have been spent listening to open baffle speakers. Okay. Thanks for the question. Bye.